I remember when I had my tongue pierced, my dad, when he saw it, he was like, listen, he's like, if you want 2 tongues, then keep it because I'm going to rip that shit out.
And I remember it was 1995 when that movie came out, and I was in high school, so how old I am. 1995, and then when that movie came out, everyone was dressing with like the high leg, like the knee-high tights, little plaid skirts matching, and everyone wanted Cher's computerized closet.
Listen, that Christina Aguilera dirty era.
Yeah.
Ooh, those eyebrows were thin.
She got the low rise in that video.
Oh, she had the low rise.
The crazy hair.
The thin eyebrows.
Thin eyebrows.
Did she have frosted lips? Did you have frosted lips?
Probably. I didn't do frosted lips. I'm a black girl. I can't do frosted lips.
I did frosted lips.
Oh, yeah.
It was terrible.
What's up, listeners? Get ready for raw, unfiltered, laugh-out-loud conversations among friends. So take your bra off, get comfy, and let's jump into our show.
Hello, hello, hello. It is time.
I'm so excited.
I know. First of all, let me apologize to everyone. I am super hopped up on caffeine. I am such your basic bitch today. I stopped at Starbucks and got a pumpkin spice latte.
She basic Becky'd her coffee.
She's a basic Becky. Look at her using all the nice terms. And I'm like, bitch. But I am super hopped up on caffeine, but in such a good way. I just have a lot of energy today. I'm excited. It's been such a good week. What about you?
Good, girl. Things have been great. I have been getting busier here, which is incredible. I landed an incredible client. I'm going to be nice and be discreet on who it is, but it was an incredible client. And I also got hired to do Grammys hair, the Latin Grammys hair. So I'm over the moon. I was, I don't know. I can't even describe the feeling because, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, the person is still a human being and I know how to do hair, but it's just like the shock factor of who it is and that it's the Grammys, man. I'm going to be having Getty images.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Please do not forget about the little people as you rise to fame and stardom.
I will still do your hair, my girl.
And I'm speaking of hair, I'm like doing my little ponytail and I was asking, I'm like, does this look like a little 80s side pony? But I don't think so. I think it's all cute. So
great,
I love it.
High ponies are the thing.
I know. And it's nice because it's just like off my off my face. It's just convenient. I'm like super hyped up. I've been working out. As you guys know, I had like a major surgery a couple months ago. And let me tell you something. It is hard to get back to fighting shape after a significant surgery. I was thinking like there have been 3 moments in my life where I have been super physically challenged. The first was giving birth. First, nobody in the world prepares you for labor. I don't care. I mean, I was in great shape, all that stuff. Those first labor pains, I was like, whoa. But I got through it, obviously. I have a kid. We didn't just keep her in there. The second was when I started bodybuilding, and the first time I hired my professional coach in the first month of workouts that they gave me, I about died, for real. It was like incredible because my body had just never worked like that before.
Were you like that like meme of like the baby calf who could barely walk?
The first leg workout I did, I literally told everyone this man is trying to kill me. And I still believe that to this day. It was like, you're either going to adapt or die. Ooh. That's kind of the feeling that it was. But this has to be the third because my body, I mean, I was lifting heavy. I mean, we worked out together before. Yeah. I was in great shape. All this, I worked on my core strength, all this other stuff. I had a few pounds to lose, but I mean, I was I moved really well. Right. Now it's like my doctor continues to remind me, my doctor and my mom, that recovering from something that major, and I'm older now too, it's going to take a while. Yeah. And so 2 months after, I'm sitting here frustrated because I'm like, oh, I can't lift anything and my body hurts, my hips hurt. So most of the time I'm doing a little bit of lifting, but a lot of yoga, a lot of walking, a lot of Pilates. But I'm proud of myself because this sucks. This sucks just as bad as those other 2 experiences. But I also know that on the other side of it is progress. So just got to keep at it.
Slowly but surely, she will get there.
I'm trying to hold myself accountable by posting on my social media sites so that other people know what I'm doing.
You're alive. I'm here, guys. Proof of life. We're good.
So it's not the Latin Grammys.
Listen. But even that, I mean, that's a huge thing to be proud of, to even overcome. Because listen, I feel like in the woo-woo part of like recovery, like your mindset is so important because you can wallow in misery and be woe is me and stuck on your bed all day, but you're making the progress. You're doing the movements. Like how many people that we know that they be laying in bed for too long that it's like, all right, you gotta get your ass up.
So tempted, but I'm not. It's like it's like every little bit hurts. It really does. But it's like a healing pain, I guess. That's what we're going to call it anyway.
Healing
I'm
pains.
not pushing myself, but it's like that kind of, like the Tin Man oiling its joints. Like that's kind of what it feels like every day. Plus my muscle strength is gone, but that's okay.
So remember, you guys, I don't know if you guys heard on the last episode, but we changed our handles to make it a little easier without any underscores. So we used to be Bras Off _pod, but now we are Bras Off HQ. So don't forget to remember that when you are looking for us on all of the social media platforms.
That's right. So if you're a TikTok chick person, go see us there. YouTube, Instagram. We're going to say hi. I mean, we're not those mean girls. No, we're not.
No, you could sit at our table.
Speaking of Mean Girls, I watched, so 4:00 in the morning, why am I up? But I saw this really funny person on Instagram who was ranking the Love is Blind previous contestants, like Mean Girl pyramid.
Oh.
And well, first, my latest obsession has been Love is Blind season 9, Denver. Y'all are a hot ass mess. I love you and it's very entertaining and I get it. You're people too, blah, blah, blah. But you are on a reality TV show. So I know Fiorella and I and some of our friends have been like, of course, like armchair psychologists digesting all of this Love is Blind stuff. Tonight is the reunion as we're taping this.
We are so excited to see the hot ass mess it's going to be.
I know. Like, who's your favorite and your least favorite Love is Blind Denver person?
Oh, that's heavy. Okay, least favorite, Casey.
Oh, God, yeah.
Literally least favorite. She just, all the gaslighting, all the bullshit. From what we understand, she didn't give the ring back. It's like, girl, you're putting the woman's name to shame. What are you doing? Like, you got to represent. What's going on? My favorite person... That's a hard one to admit because I don't think I have one.
Okay, that's fair.
Do you have one?
There's someone that I'm going to champion because I think they get a lot of hate. So I guess there's the least favorite is probably Joe. Is that the one? Like frat boy without a real place to live, the hobo-sexual?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Joe, if you don't watch Love is Blind, one of his questions in the pod to the person he eventually ended up getting engaged to was, so where do you live? Do you have like a kind of whatever? And then when we tour his living quarters, it's like a dorm. And I'm like, how are you like a grown ass man and employed talking about I'm ready to start my life with you, but when's your lease up kind of thing so I can roll on in there.
So I could be a part of your lease.
And it just seemed like I don't think that he was ever really serious about finding a life partner, or even if he was serious, that boy was not ready. So it's kind of like he was a time waster. I mean, there are a few people who are tied for my worst, but he was probably up there because he just reminded me of every like unevolved frat boy you've ever met on the planet. It was just kind of like, another one.
Yeah, he's a definite. He's the poster boy for toxic.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna say, y'all throw some shade at me. I like Megan, and let me tell you, I'm gonna champion Megan.
You know what?
Sparkle
I'm gonna
Megan.
rescind my comment. I love Megan. Go ahead.
Sparkle Megan. Now her nickname was dumb, but let's get past that. I think she gets a lot of hate because she's successful and has money. And a lot of people equate money and success with evil. Yes. And she's rich and all she cares about is other rich people. And first, I don't know her. So all of this stuff is based on what we saw on TV. But I saw someone who's like, I really want to be in a relationship. I think this is what I want. Yes, I'm super successful financially, but that's not the thing that I'm going for. Everyone's like, she broke up with Jordan because he wasn't rich. And I think she broke up with Jordan because Jordan wasn't compromising. Jordan didn't really, she would say, this is what's important to me. He's like, well, that shouldn't be important to you.
Jordan made a frozen chicken smoothie with fucking Crystal Light. That's why. She broke up with Jordan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, she's probably thinking, could I do 30 years of this? I was like, hell no.
Like, did you throw up in your mouth a little bit when you saw that? I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, is that frozen chicken? What are you doing?
I've done a lot of crazy shit in my bodybuilding days. I will drink oatmeal, like just water and oatmeal and drink it. Protein. It was protein, water, and oatmeal. Okay. That's the worst thing I did. Never have I ever NutriBulleted a chicken. That's disgusting.
And Ninja, you should be ashamed of yourself for sponsoring him and his frozen chicken smoothie.
Yeah, I mean...
Sorry.
There is nothing about someone blending up a chicken smoothie that's going to make me want to buy your product.
No, seriously, like, really?
Yeah, but I think Megan got a little bit of, and I feel like this is what we do to each other as successful women. Yes. Like, it's not okay. I felt like a lot of people were upset because it wasn't okay for her to say, I'm successful and I want this kind of lifestyle. And frankly, Jordan was, I'm a parent, I'm a single parent. I'm like, bro, I have a kid too. I was a single parent too, or co-parent. Like, we had a co-parenting similar situation. Right. And he acted like he couldn't ever do anything without his child, right? Or we could never have fun vacations as a parent. I'm like, okay, that's all your self-limiting talk. So I did not like Jordan. I didn't think, and I also don't want to say I like this person's at fault. It's a relationship. Two people tried something. They cared about each other and it just didn't work out. Let it be okay. Leave Megan alone. Justice for Megan.
Yes, literally. And I really think that, you know, like you touched on it, like this, I mean, it's true. He had a scarcity mentality. Yes. Megan is a foodie. Let me tell you something. If I can afford a regular bottle of Prosecco with some surf and turf, you best believe I'm going to get it.
That's right.
And I'm not going to let your fucking chicken smoothie drinking ass stop me doing that.
For
so
real.
Good for you, Megan. Good for you for staying true to yourself, to your morals, to your standards, because ain't nobody got time to lower yourself.
Exactly. So PSA for everybody, be like Megan.
Yeah.
You know, don't make a whole lot of money and do your thing.
Yes.
And don't let anybody else dull your shine.
Hallelujah.
And don't drink chicken smoothies.
No, don't.
Sorry,
and with Crystal Light.
Yeah. I love your little Debbie Gibson hat, and I think it's perfect for our topic today because we wanted to have so much fun.
Yes.
And we were looking at all sorts of fun stuff, and we were laughing because, you know, Theo and I, there's a little bit of an age gap between us. So I think we'll have great differences of, we'll have different level of commentary on this topic. But I was just thinking, I was watching some creator again on Instagram showing their kid commercials that they grew up with. And I started thinking like 80s, 90s, 2000s, how much has changed and what is hilarious about the time when we all grew up. So we're sticking to 90s and 2000s because that's kind of, you know, our eras of, you know, influence and growing up. But I was just like, this is going to be so hilarious. But because you're wearing this hat and because this has been on my mind, we first have to start with the quintessential 90s movie, Clueless.
Oof, such a classic.
One of my favorites.
My absolute favorite. And I'm sorry for butchering the girl, but who is the farmer girl? You look like a farmer in those clothes. What was her name?
Oh, Brittany Murphy.
Brittany Murphy, yeah. Her. Yeah. I loved her. I love her.
Her character was Ty.
Ty.
Rest in peace, Brittany Murphy.
I know. But she was like my favorite because she was, you know, not necessarily the outcast, but like I loved the vibe that she brought, that she was just like doing what she wanted. And
I think one of the best like parts of that movie was when she's at Cher's house, or Alicia Silverstone, and, you know, she's trying to like whip her into shape. And first, there are so many great pop culture moments in that like 3-minute scene. The first is when they're working out to Tammy Lee Webb's Buns of Steel. First, Tammy Lee Webb is like my idol. I love Tammy Lee Webb. I met her in San Diego. And so shout out to Tammy Lee Webb for she's amazing. And yeah, she still looks great.
She still have Buns of Steel?
Hells to the yeah. And she still does a lot of great workout stuff. But first they're doing Buns of Steel, which we used to own. Buns of Steel, Abs of Steel, Arms of Steel. And I remember popping that VHS tape in there and working out with Miss Tammy Lee Webb.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So there was that. And then there was that scene where she starts singing the Mentos commercial.
Mentos. Mentos freshness.
Because that's not 90s. I don't know what it is.
Oh,
It's dorky
it
Mentos.
1000% is. It's 1000%. I mean, listen, I would eat Mentos like candy. It's terrible.
I know. Didn't we? Isn't that what it was?
I mean,
was
technically, it's a
Mentos?
mint, technically, but
Is
it's
it?
a chewy mint.
Yeah, I never really ate Mentos, so I thought it was gum. It's not gum?
No.
Oh.
It's just a chewy mint.
It's your dentist's worst nightmare.
Yes, it's a sugary chewy mint for Mentos freshness.
You know what else did you love about Clueless? Because I have a whole list.
Oh, well, listen, for me, honestly, it was the fashion, the hair, just the attitude. I mean, and as somebody who wasn't a Bel Air, rich girl, like obviously just being exposed via movie to the possibility, I was a dreamer. So for me to be like, oh, look at that house. Oh, look at the car. Oh my God. But the driving. Oh, when she ran into the car. Oh God. Cringe.
Yeah.
So I also learned many lessons to not sideswipe cars when I'm just driving down a road.
Oh, the fashion was amazing. Yes. First, remember their hats. Like Cher and Dion. Dion's hat.
The best.
The black and white one. Oh my gosh. It was great.
Yes.
And I remember it was 1995 when that movie came out, and I was in high school, so how old I am. 1995. And then when that movie came out, everyone was dressing with like the high leg, like the knee-high tights, little plaid skirts matching. And everyone wanted Cher's computerized closet.
Yes. Oh, that was so epic.
Why do we not have that now?
Well, I feel like it does exist. We just
does
don't
it?
Have it. Yeah.
I've yet to see. So celebrities, if you have a Cher inspired closet,
yes. we need to see
it.
what you got, because we need to know that's real.
Because I need to put that on my manifestation board.
Yes, please. Literally. We should do that. We should have a vision board day.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. That should be a lot of fun. Yeah. My other favorite part was first, there were so many big stars in that. Before they were big stars, Paul Rudd was in that. Alicia Silverstone, Stacey Dash, who turned crazy, but whatever. What's the guy's name from Scrubs who played Stacey Dash's boyfriend?
Oh my God. Celebrity names are not on
I
the top
kind of
of my
want to
head.
say Donald, but I'm so bad with that. The guy who
I know exactly what you're talking about. I just don't know
the
his
guy
celebrity
who
name.
played Eldon. So he's in like FBI. He's in a
lot.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, tons of people.
Yeah. I will say, though, it did creep me out a little bit that, I mean, technically it was her stepbrother, but it creeped me a little out that she had her hots for her stepbrother.
That part was never, but you know what? That's very 90s. We did a lot of creepy shit back then.
Yeah,
we always did. But
Yeah.
okay, speaking of creepy and speaking of 90s or 2000s and fashion, let's move on to stuff that was a little bit more cringe.
Okay, so I just need to put it out there that the 90s and 2000s were like my puberty era. So I was a confused preteen and teen. So I was the cringiest person from like 12 to 18, 1000%. So
I need to hear this.
Yeah.
What are we talking about, Fiorella?
we talked, it was funny because obviously we're talking about, the episode and everything. And I was thinking like, damn, like all like the major fashion faux pas was all I did. Literally was all I did. I had the giant Jenko jeans with the freaking stripes on the side that I was tripping over, and they had the rips in the back because they were too long. And I had the Airwalk sneakers because I thought I was a skater girl. Then fast forward
God.
2 years later, and I stepped into my wannabe Abercrombie girl era when I was still
that's a 180.
yeah. Oh no. And then it gets worse. I was in my Abercrombie girl era, but then I switched into my hood girl era. Then I went into like my Marc Echo stuff, my FUBU. Like I'm telling you, it was a mess.
Your poor parents.
I know. They were so confused.
They're probably like,
I went
should we
from
get
those
her
like
therapy?
ball chain freaking skater necklaces to having like a name, everything. I had name earrings, name plate, name ring. They were like, what are you doing?
Did you have to get that custom made? Because
Yes,
Fiorella is not
I did.
a common name.
I did. I will say I'm very blessed. I had a daddy that spoiled me.
I'm curious, like, if you guys are listening to this, I need to hear what your fashion faux pas were of the 90s and 2000s. We've all had them.
What were yours?
What were mine? My mother was so worried about me because I went through an all black phase. Like, I wore all black clothing in middle
your
school.
goth?
No, here's the thing. Like, this is, when you're in that mindset, I just thought I looked good. I wasn't I didn't even know what goth was back then.
Okay.
But I thought I picked clothes I thought made me look really good. And they just all happened to be in that very dark palette. And my mom was like, she told me this years later, she's like, we were so worried about you. And I'm like, I didn't do drugs. I was like an athlete. I did all this stuff. And I just wore all black apparently for like a year, she said. But I think I was just taking stuff from her and my older sister's closet, which just happened to be black and it fit me. So I stole it.
I love that.
But there was one trend that in the 2000s that I wish I could do, but I just didn't have the body type for. You guys remember how low those low-rise jeans were? Like booty crack jeans.
Let me tell you something, okay? It was the era where if you sat down and your thong wasn't visibly up your ass, they weren't low enough.
Right.
Like literally, like I think I went somewhere and I could tell that somebody didn't get waxed.
Ew.
That's how low they were. So,
But you remember when thongs came out?
Yeah.
Because people think this now, that we've always had thongs, which
No.
I love thongs. I think they're a great piece of underwear. If you get the right ones, there's some that are super uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
like
The right
a
one
good
is
thong
good.
is awesome because
Right.
no panty line, super comfortable, all this other stuff.
But
But yeah, but before Cisco
Yeah.
came out with the thong song, it's like thongs were a new concept. We were all wearing granny panties. Granny panties. And like the sexy ones were like the high cut.
Yeah.
And they were not very sexy.
No. They were just
So
sitting weird.
I attempted to get low rise jeans. My booty said no. I've always had a large derriere. I like it. I'm very happy with my
She's
body.
blessed.
I'm blessed. But the thing is, when you have things like that, they're meant for women with like no hips and no booty. So they would literally like just stop. They're like, we have no more material for you, Jennifer. So for me, a low rise jean was probably a mid length jean. And that's what I had to go with. Express hooked me up.
And
They had the perfect boot cut jean.
I have to see if we could find it so we can put it in the show notes. But there was a video of a girl who bought a pair of low-rise jeans. And she was like, it's funny because she didn't even stand up. She was so mortified how low they were that she was like bent over because she didn't want anyone to see anything. And
See
then
that coochie
somebody
shot.
like stitched it and they were like, so this is why we had to wear the super long tank tops.
Yep.
Because we needed
Doubled
to
up.
cover. Yes, the doubled
Doubled up.
Oh man, the worst. I had so many camisoles. So many. The ones with the lace and the sweetheart neckline, and you wore the double colors
Double
to match
colors.
whatever you were wearing. Oh yeah.
Well, let's talk about makeup though. Because here's where I'm like so embarrassed. First of all, the whole concept of having a natural glow is very modern because if you had one stitch of oil on your face, forget it.
Oh yeah. You had to look dry.
Matte.
Matte
Matte.
as ever. But the only thing that was okay to be glossy was your lips.
Yes, but okay, let me rewind a little bit because I'm not sure if this would have been even before your time, but like I remember skincare wise, I graduated from like soap and water and washcloth where my parents like, why do you need anything? Put some lotion on your face and walk out the door. And to like, I thought I was really doing something with that St. Ives Swiss Formula scrub.
Oh my God.
And Neutrogena.
The pads.
No, I didn't do the pads because this shit burned.
Yeah, it did.
Burned.
I thought in my head, my logic was if it burns, it's working.
Well, yeah, me too, but I just couldn't stand it. It was really hard.
I'm just crying tears of blood.
Right? No, it's like, my skin, I'm melting. No, but it was St. Ives Swiss Formula and like Neutrogena or something like that for like maybe the cream. I can't
Your
remember.
moisturizer, your matte moisturizer.
Oh my God. But yeah, we didn't know about, first of all, I can't imagine. I've seen these young girls go into Sephora and stuff now and drop like a lot on skincare products. And I was just happy to have like, first of all, I grew up with siblings and I had an older sister. We were only 2.5 years apart. Getting our own skincare was like, okay.
Unheard of.
Right. It's like we're all sharing the same tub of St. Ives Swiss Formula scrub and all this other stuff. So just being able to have our own skincare was huge. So when I went to college, I thought I was doing something when I went up to the Clinique counter and got that bar of soap that was in that tube. Do you remember that?
No.
I was going to say, that's old school.
I'm like, I don't think I remember that one.
Yeah. What is our age gap? Like 8 years?
I'm going to be 40.
8 years.
Yeah.
Well, seven and a
Yeah.
half. Yeah. Now you know how old we are. Anyway, but yeah, so when I was in college, it was all about Clinique counter. And then if you got real fancy later, we went to the MAC counter.
Oh, yeah.
But it was, definitely the makeup was like matte face. We didn't have 17 steps. There was no contouring. Kim Kardashian introduced that on a global scale.
Yeah.
There was no contouring. So we had these like matte, no flat faces with glossy lips. And what the hell were we thinking of the eyeshadow?
Or the eyebrows.
Oh, the eyebrows.
We had no eyebrows. You guys, like you see, I have eyebrows. I paint them on every day because in my era, the thinner, the better, right? But it's also, if you pluck too much, it won't grow back. So now I still have straight lines with, I got a microbladed, but microblading fades. So I'm like, I just have a permanent stencil on my face.
Yeah. So for me, I never actually tweezed too much. My eyebrows just stopped growing recently. So I fill mine in quite a bit too. But you're right. Remember Drew Barrymore, mid 90s, late 90s line. It was kind of like that, like goth doll look, dark lipstick, matte face.
Listen, that Christina Aguilera dirty era.
Yeah.
Ooh, those eyebrows were
What she
thin.
got the low rise in that video.
Oh, she had the low
the crazy
rise,
hair,
the thin eyebrows.
thin eyebrows.
Did she have frosted lips? Did you have frosted lips?
Probably. I didn't do frosted lips. I'm a
did
black
frosted
girl. I
lips.
can't do frosted lips.
I did frosted lips.
Oh, yeah.
It was terrible.
Well,
I
when you
look back
told
and I'm
me-
like, what the hell was I thinking?
When you told me about the money piece thing, was that 90s, 2000?
So the money piece is a popular thing nowadays because if you guys have seen any women who have just an extra blonde streak in the front, that's called, for what reason we call it, a money piece, right? But back in the 90s, 2000s, that also was a popular trend. So I went to a salon because my brother's ex-girlfriend at the time, she had it and I loved it. And I told my mom, like, I really want this hairstyle. So I was like, okay, great. Takes me to the salon. And I told the girl, I'm like, I just want the blonde streak in the front. Great. Y'all, I looked like a black and white cookie, but more like orange and white black cookie because it was my dark hair. And literally from like here to here was this like orange stripe. My mother was like, I paid for it, so you're keeping it. I had to rock that shit for like 6 months until I had roots and she finally let me box color it. So yes, be careful with your money pieces and who doesn't.
It just sounds like a stripper thing. I don't know. When you say money piece, I think of like...
I mean, yeah, you can hopefully work it up and make some money off
No,
it.
I mean... and if you have it, I don't think you're a stripper. I'm just saying the name money piece
Yes.
sounds a little like...
It's giving.
Yeah, it's giving. Oh my gosh, we were crazy back then.
Yeah.
But you know what was great in the 90s and 2000s? And now I'm going to sound like an old fart. The music. The music was so good.
Listen, it's like there's like that one meme that's like something about like talking about like who you are, and it's like I have a '90s R&B soul. I'm like, yes, I do. No, music, hip hop, and R&B is not what it was.
It was the best in the 90s and 2000s. And weren't we watching? We were watching the comedy show when he did that.
Yes, Joe Coy.
Yeah,
Yes.
Joe Coy.
Dude, okay, so he was talking about, if you guys have not seen Joe Coy's Brooklyn special, please watch it and then comment on how freaking funny it is because it's hysterical. But he talks about the music, right? So back in the day, how his dad used to make fun of him, how he used to listen to hippity hop.
Hippity hop.
Yeah. So then his son, he's now, Joe Coy's now older, and his son is listening to the rap now. And he like is in his dad's kind of vibe saying like, you like that mumble music.
Mumble.
But it's true. Like, you
is.
know damn well, if you go somewhere and you hear Biggie, you're going to be going in on listening to fucking Biggie. And he's been gone for how long? And he's still hot.
Since 95.
Yes, literally. And it's still the best. So
I remember when
we had the best
Tupac and Biggie were alive and when they were unalived.
I know.
Sad.
I know.
But that's the thing. I love 90s and 2000s hip hop because, first of all, it was a party.
Yeah.
It was a party. You knew all the words.
Where the party at?
Jagged Edge.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Black Street
Yes.
and Jagged Edge. And even the rock was better.
Yeah.
Like the rock and the pop music was better, I
100%.
think. And like, I don't know. It was just, it felt like a party. So if you look at my playlist now, of course you're going to say, oh, it's because you're, born in the 1900s. Probably. But I still appreciate like my parents' music, like Motown and all that stuff that I grew up on. And I love 90s and 2000s R&B and hip hop, but mostly 90s stuff. But there's some like early 2000s stuff that I like. But then once it starts getting into that, it feels like some of the stuff, it's like I'm depressed and I'm high and I'm going to say some words and it doesn't make any sense, and then there's a word that makes sense.
Yeah.
The only people I think who can get away with that is Earth, Wind, and Fire with September. Because, you know, the story behind that is that they were writing this song and they couldn't figure out what to say. So they just did the la-di-da, and it stuck because it was really fun.
It was catchy. Yeah.
Yeah. My mom told me that story. So, and I have
Mama
seen
Battle.
Earth, Wind, and Fire in concert and Santana. That was so much fun. But I'm just saying, like, I can appreciate all genres of music. And so that's why I feel like I can confidently say some of the stuff I hear now is like, and some of the names, I'm like, how many little people are there?
You know what's crazy too? I'll be honest with you. Like, I do a lot of brides, right? And so I want to say a solid 90% of the brides that I do, their playlist is around the 90s and 2000s. Like, it's not now. It's not anything that's modern. It's literally like either it's like super pop where they have like Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys, or it's like the R&B where you're hearing some Jagged Edge, or you're hearing some Tyrese, or like, oh, I'm telling you, like there's some songs that come out, I'm like, oh, my heart, it's so good. Yeah. There was one, they played Carl Thomas, and it sounds like crying. I was like, oh, Carl Thomas.
And I even can guess which song it was because I will cry my eyes off.
It was Summer Rain.
Okay, not that one.
Okay.
I was just like, what is that Carl Thomas song that I'm trying to think of? Actually, no, I'm thinking of someone else, Jesse Powell.
Oh. Yeah.
Anyway, we can go off on a tangent. But even my daughter, who will be 21, appreciates 2000s and 90s R&B and hip hop. Because first of all, because I raised her right.
That's right.
And second, it's just good music. Yeah. Like, you're just going to listen to it forever and ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
I miss my EVE.
You know, she just did a tour, a summer tour. Now that she's all married up with her billionaire and everything, but she just did a summer tour. I want to say it was in Europe, but yeah, we totally missed it. We should have been out in Germany.
We should have been there, man. What the hell? Okay, next time.
Eve, hook us up next time, please. Have you ever seen the people talking about like Blackpink? Do you remember Pink's first album, There You Go?
No.
She was very much in the R&B genre because
she was.
Yeah. And so people are jokingly calling her Blackpink, like not like today's Blackpink, right, but Blackpink, but Pink can just sing. So we just appreciate good singers.
Yeah.
Singers.
Yeah. They sing from their soul.
Okay, so what are some little stories or cringy things you may have done in the 90s and 2000s? You've told a couple. I've got one or two in my back pocket.
Oh, man.
That had to do with some of the trends that we followed.
Yeah, no, it was just like, I'll be honest with you. My one thing was, when I was in my like hood girl era, trying to kind of, for some reason, go back into my Abercrombie girl era.
We need pictures of this.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find them. But, and I also, do you guys remember Chinese slippers?
Ooh.
Do you know those Chinese slippers? No, they're...
Oh, slippers.
Yes.
Yes.
These Chinese slippers, you don't understand. I had them in every color. They were 99 cents in Perth Amboy, New Jersey at like some nail salon that sold them. I would buy them every time I got my nails done, and they matched every outfit I wore, and I wore them for everything. Listen, I don't know where... I'm going to see if I could find them. I saw somebody selling like updated Chinese slippers for like over $80. I'm like, what the hell? They're 99 cents. Get out of here. I'm paying $8.
They need to go to that $2 shoe store in Vegas. If you are in Vegas, Maryland Parkway, it's crazy. In fact, I got these boots from there.
Get out!
With your sister, by the way.
No way!
Were $20.
Wow, they're cute.
$2 shoe store on Maryland Parkway. You go in there. They have a lot of slippers. I don't know if they're exactly what you're talking about, for $2. Then I don't think there's a shoe in there that costs more than $30. Men, women, children,
everything.
Don't go after school because it's a madhouse. Don't go on the weekend because it's a madhouse. So if you can go like on a Tuesday at 11 a.m., it's a little sketch, but I don't care. I don't think anything fell off the truck. I think it's legit because they've been around for a long time. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. But I went into my hood girl to Abercrombie girl era. I got an interview with Hollister to work for Hollister. And so I walk into Hollister, and listen, I kind of still have like, I was from Jersey. I was super attitude, preteen, teenager. And this girl at the register, I passed her. She's like, oh my God, is your hair like chocolate brown? And I was like, yeah. And like, just like her like enthusiasm, but like the ultra valley girl voice. It was so bad that I literally looked at like the manager, and I'm like, I can't do this. If I work with her, there's going to be some bows thrown. I got to go. I can't do this.
But Fiorella wasn't quite gone yet.
Yeah, no, she was creeping up a little bit, so I had to go.
For me, it was piercings. Remember how everybody was getting their belly button pierced? And yes, I don't have any jewelry there, but I remember it was a summer I was interning, was in Cleveland, Ohio, interning, and my fellow interns, we decided to all hang out, and they're like, let's go get pierced. And first of all, piercings did not cost as much as they do now. I got my daughter's ears pierced, and I was like, what? I was like, I could buy
you could buy the piercing gun yourself.
I was like, they could get some lessons and classes. Anyway. So piercings were kind of affordable. I went with my friend who was another intern. I decided to get my belly button pierced. And at first it kind of hurt, but I had a piercing there. I had my ear, multiple piercings in my ear, all this other stuff. My family was livid. No, they weren't they're like, oh my God. But the thing was, too, it was that summer, I have a food science major, so I was interning for a major food company, and I worked in product development. And the thing is, I had to wear a lab coat. And when you get your belly button pierced, you want it to breathe. You want it to not be rubbing against clothes. But I literally had to wear a lab coat all day. So after I'd get pierced, I would get, the salt and the water, mix it up and just throw it upside down on my belly button and just sit like that and just let the relief of the swelling from it being my lab coat rubbing up against it all day. But piercings were huge.
Yeah. Listen, I got my tongue pierced. I had this pierced. I had this pierced. I have 4 on each ear. I remember when I had my tongue pierced, my dad, when he saw it, he was like, listen, he's like, if you want 2 tongues, then keep it because I'm going to rip that shit out. He's like, but if not, just take it out.
I wanted to get my nose pierced, but after my family's reaction about the belly button piercing, which you can't even see, I was like, I value my life and they still pay for part of my life. So let me just get that out.
Yeah.
It was fun.
No, it was a good time. And it's funny too, because I look back, I mean, if I regret any piercing, I regret this one because I still have a major hole in my face. But other than that, I didn't mind being the rebellious pierced girl.
Yeah. I think that was the thing about that period of time, because I remember being pre-internet, post-internet. I remember my first email address. It was ridiculous. God. I remember MySpace.
Yes.
And all of that. AOL dial-up,
best times. But
people were like, what did you do before internet? I remember someone saying, what did people do with maps before MapQuest, or not MapQuest, before GPS? It's like we read maps.
Let me tell you something. We read maps, and my parents, they moved to Florida, the in between when the internet was just becoming the internet, and we had fucking MapQuest.
Yep.
And I had to print out the directions from New Jersey to Florida.
And those directions were right 50% of the time.
Yeah, just about.
I had a travel job at that time because I was just right out of college. So I traveled quite a bit and by myself. So not only did I have printed out MapQuest directions, but I had to really quickly learn when it was going to screw me over. And so I had to generally have a lay of the land and understand about where I was going to be able to be like, MapQuest, are you messing with me? Is this right?
Yeah, this is not good.
I just think it was a great time where things were a little bit more free and creative. And there's a lot that I love about social media, but there's a lot that I don't love, because I remember there was a time where it was so much fun to connect with people in real life and to create these great experiences and to do stupid makeup and hair stuff, because there were no influencers telling us what we should look like. There weren't 17-step makeup.
And there was no proof that we did the bad hair
there was
makeup.
No proof. I mean, unless someone can dig out their film cameras or their disposable cameras.
Listen, that was the best part. So I will die on the hill that Joe Coy is one of the best comedians ever. I'm telling you, his Brooklyn special, he talked about that. How now he talked about how people take selfies, and he was like, listen, you had to like my photo when I showed it to you because I physically handed you the photo.
Exactly.
I'm giving you 12 shots with this disposable camera. At least make sure one comes out good.
Or school pictures. It's like being able to trade your school pictures with the people that you actually liked, and it meant a big deal. If
BFF
the boy that you were crushing on gave you his school picture. I mean, just some of those rites of passage were
yearbook?
So much fun. Yeah. Do people still do yearbooks though, right? Yeah.
Do you want to hear something really cringy?
Yes.
Okay,
Of course I
so
do.
the childhood ice cream man, he was like our favorite guy because he was really nice. And like when it was our birthdays, he remembered our birthdays. He would give us free ice cream. When I graduated high school, I asked him to sign my yearbook.
Okay, I'm sorry. He kind of sounds like a pedophile. What do you mean?
No, I know, but he was like the neighbor. He was like he lived in the
He
neighborhood.
was the neighborhood ice cream
No,
man.
I know. It sounds. I
I'm
know
joking.
it does sound super cringy, but he lived in the complex and everyone knew him. But he was just like a cool guy, you know. And I made him sign my yearbook.
That's right. Like, yeah, those were really great experiences, not knowing anything and being,
Yeah.
I don't know, like ignorant of all the adult things. I think that's one of the things that I'm noticing. You know, like I said, my kid's in college, and I just think she grew up so much faster than we did. And
You know,
I
there
miss
was
that.
sorry to cut you off, but there was a study actually, I think it was in the UK, and I don't know exactly who did it, but they took like 7th grade, like an entire classroom. They took all their phones away for a month. And the first few days, obviously, the kids are losing their shit. They're like, what are we going to do? After 2 weeks, they all admitted, they're like, I feel better. I have less anxiety. I'm out with my friends more. Like they're living their life better. And I'm like, wow, so we're not wrong.
Yeah, and I got to give it to artists like Bruno Mars, who does not allow phones at the concert
Yes.
or phones in the Pinky Ring, his lounge here in Vegas. And my daughter and I went to Bruno Mars's concert like a couple years ago, 2023 or whatever. And it was the best concert experience in a long time that I've been to because
you were
everyone
present.
was actually present
Yeah.
and enjoying the music. Gosh, we sound old. Put those phones away.
I know.
But I do think, you know, now that we see people taking like social media breaks and all this other stuff, people are realizing that there is a world outside of your smartphone.
Oh, 100%.
And, you know, there are things about my childhood and growing up and the crazy creative stuff we did because we had no alternative. We were going to, you know, pretend. My sister and I used to go into, this is when we lived in New Jersey for that brief time, but we had a lot of land and there was a garden in the back. It was probably, thinking back on it, it's probably really overgrown, but we would pretend to be back in the forest and we would do stuff in the garden and make up stories. And there was so much creativity because you had to, otherwise you'd just be sitting there looking at each other. So I really do value those experiences. And yes, a lot of stuff we did as kids and teenagers and young adults were super cringy. And I'm so glad there's no video evidence of that.
No.
But I'm also really thankful for growing up in this kind of in-between time so I could see like before and after internet. And I almost think like the kids who are coming up in the world of AI, there's going to be that same like before and after AI.
Yeah. I saw a crazy thing the other day. I will say, like, this whole new AI era is, I know that we can't have regulations on it yet, but I feel like
The people who control that kind of stuff are
I
not.
think the problem is, like, I saw an ad for the Meta AI the other day, and the lady was saying, like, okay, I live in this kind of environment and I need to meal prep for this family with this kind of restrictions, blah, 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 blah. And Meta AI brought up the meal plan for her, which makes me scared because it's like, why can't we think for ourselves?
Yeah.
We're removing the creativity. We're removing the thought. We're removing the process of life and handing it over to someone to do it for us. And that is a little concerning because how confident and accomplished do you feel when you think of something and you create it and you execute it? It's like, fuck yes, I did that, you know?
Yeah.
But in the same token, it's like, you know, I mean, listen, when I make a home cooked meal, it's nice to know, like, I thought of this off the top of my head and everyone loved it.
Yeah. I think they're just like any tool, pros and cons, right?
Yeah.
I use AI all the time.
Yeah.
And it's great because there are certain things that are time saving. However, I think that we also need to continue to stoke our creativity and have fun and all that good stuff. But it also makes me think, like, I remember when automation first came out and everyone's like, we're all going to lose our jobs to the robots. And people, when the self-checkout came up, we're going to lose our jobs to the I mean, honestly, people have less labor, but I think that it's a balance.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
But the 90s and 2000s were great.
Listen, MySpace, when you brought that up, I was like a freaking coding fanatic. I was so good with Adobe Photoshop and coding. I had the coolest freaking MySpace profile and I was customizing all my friends wanted me to customize it for them. I always knew how to put the music on it before you could put the music on it. Like I was I was really fucking smart.
And in MySpace, you could put like your top friends.
Your top 8.
Your top 8. So if you weren't part of the top 8 on MySpace, it's almost like, you know, putting in your yearbook and crossing the faces.
Yeah, literally. It's like if you were on the top 8 and you came off, you guys know you had beef. There was beef.
Oh my gosh. Social has come such a long way. But all right. I mean, okay, if you had to wrap up what your best 90s, 2000s memory was.
Honestly, between the music and just that era of like, even, I'll be honest with you, the clubbing. And only because like the clubbing, like as a teenager in that era, and just like the music and the no proof of the raunchiness that was happening. Like it was just the best
dancing.
Yeah, the actual dancing, and not everyone having a phone in your face when you're doing everything. Like it was just a whole vibe.
Yeah,
a whole
100%.
Vibe. Yeah.
I had one, and now I'm like wrapped up in the nostalgia of going out in the 90s and early 2000s. I think for me, it was definitely the music and the being present in the moment.
Yeah.
Without the phones, without that kind of pressure, because I just remember having so much fun. And that's why if I'm going to go places in Vegas, I don't think I've been to like a club in Vegas. I've only been to places which I guess we would consider grown and sexy, but like the Pinky Ring. I love it because there's no phones. There's just music. People are having a good time. People are talking to each other. And that's kind of the vibe that I miss. It's hard to find that connection.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like even when you go out to dinner now, like there are so many times where me and my husband, I go out to dinner, and I feel bad because it's almost hypocritical because he has to be on his phone all the time for work. So his phone's always right next to him. But like, there are times when he's able to disconnect, and we'll notice like there's a couple 4 tables down and they're both deep in their phones, and then their food comes and then they eat, but there's like no connection. There's no conversation. There's no what's happening. It's just, so I love, like you said, the presence.
Yeah.
The presence is.
Well, we can't rewind a clock.
I know.
But there's some cool things happening that kind of harken back to those days of the 90s and 2000s. And one of it is this community that we've created.
Yeah.
And I know, first of all, it's got a different name every week. And that's okay because I'm allowed to change my freaking mind.
Oh, yeah.
And you may have heard of the lounge before last week, but now we decided to call it Hi Friend.
Hey, friend.
And I wanted to explain why and what we're trying to do there. And it's just like we were talking about in the 90s to 2000s, you had that fun connection. It's when social media was actually social and you were talking to your friends.
Yes.
And so one of the people who joined Hi Friends recently was like, hey, I love this because I really miss the social part of social media.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to like connect with people, if you're cool, like if you're not cool, don't join them. The Hi Friend app is going to be launching. It's launched, but I'm going to invite you guys to the Hi Friend app. And it's a place where you can come be social.
Yeah.
We're going to do stuff like both live and in app form.
Yep.
And there are lots of ways that we're going to talk about how to bring fun and connection to your real life. So it's not just sitting and, you know, not getting steps in front of your phone, but there are also going to be ways that you can engage and meet some really cool people in there. So I'm really excited about it. So
Can't wait to see you guys there.
Oh my gosh, this is so much fun, Fiorella.
It was a good time.
I loved it.
Now I want to go clubbing to a 90s
I mean,
and R&B kind of club.
they don't know this. It's like 10 in the morning here, but I don't know.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
You might have to roll on out there. But make sure you check us out on Bras Off HQ.
Yes.
We're so excited to chat with you. So excited to share more about Hi Friend. See, whenever I say it, I just want to wave and smile at
I
people.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi Friend.
Hey, friend.
Hey friend. Hi friend. Anyway, but check us out on Bras Off HQ on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube so you can see our lovely faces. And share with us some of your favorite 90s and 2000s moments because I think it'd be fun to reminisce about the good old days.
And drop some good music too so we can make a 90s R&B playlist. Woo!
There might be some playlists coming up in Hi Friends. So just FYI.
Exclusive.
But so drop your ideas because I would love to hear your suggestions. But yeah, it was great talking to you all again. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. If you love the show, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. If you want in on our shenanigans, then go to brasoffpod.com to join our community and connect with other amazing people just like you.